welcome to the party. I'm off the players in the league, that's why I'm over retarded. That's why I'm over retarded. Baby, welcome to the party. I hit the boy up.
That's right, welcome to the party. Thomas Partey has finally arrived at the Emirates Stadium. Whoa, what a thrilling deadline day that was. I mean, cast your mind to 40 hours before that. We were just all doom and gloom. Go on social media, it's Kroenke out, fuck Arsenal, tired of this process. Now we're all celebrating, we're all having a party. That's exactly what I want to see from the fan base. But it still doesn't sort of deflect that we've not had the greatest of transfer windows. It's a decent one, not the greatest. But before I sort of go on any further with this, big up to AFC Bell. So for those of you who don't know AFC Bell, he's a Twitter account. He or they or she, we don't know the entity of AC Bell. But they were quite adamant throughout the whole window that Arsenal would sign Thomas Partey, even to the point where they actually sort of said we will trigger the release clause, and everyone, absolutely everyone, doubted AFC Bell, included Fabrizio Romano, David Ornstein, etc. And for AFC Bell to, tell us detail by detail, you sir are a legend, AFC Bell. Most underrated social media account now. Now, if AFC Bell tells me next week I'm going to do this and that, I believe him. From now on, we're not doubting AFC Bell. When he says this and that will happen, fair, yeah, it will happen. And you know what, fair plays as well to Charles Watts from Goal.com. I believe he was the first journalist that broke out with the Thomas Partey story yesterday morning. And we still had The Athletic and the likes of Fabrizio saying, not true, Arsenal's going to have a quiet day, nothing will happen. But hey, we are the most unpredictable club. That's how we do things. If you cast your mind back to Mesut Ozil, remember the scenes outside Finsbury Park and that? And now, it seems that we're all having a party. You know what? Although it's been a roller coaster ride, this whole transfer window. I'm shattered, man. I can't remember the last time I slept well. Been waking up every morning, like mad early, thinking, you know what? Who we signing? Is it Awar today? Is it? You know what? To be fair, I never really expected Partey, so I wasn't really looking out for the Partey stories. But it was the likes of Awar and these other guys I was more adamant and hopeful that we'll get. But yeah, that's the international transfer window now officially closed as of last night at 11 p.m. here in the UK. But we could still sort of do dealings with the lower leagues nationally, so the likes of the Championship, League One, etc. And I believe we've got until the 16th to do that. There are some Arsenal fans who are flirting with the ideas of perhaps looking at a Said Benrahma or a Bundio from Norwich. Personally speaking, no. I'd say, you know what? Let's not go in and just sign any average player. I would rather us go back in January or come next summer once the likes of Socrates, Mustafi, Ozil's contracts up and we've got a bit more finance. We can start looking at your Dominic Szoboszlais or go back in for a while come summertime. And I'd rather us just get these sort of top class players. Now, when we sort of look at our spine, massive improvement. Yeah, you're looking at Aubameyang, world class striker. Thomas Partey, world-class midfielder. Gabriel, he's got all the potentials in the world. And Bert Leno, arguably, he's sort of getting into that world-class category. Not there yet, but I'm sure he will soon be world-class very soon. But yeah, I'm still buzzing. I can't lie. I'm still pinching myself. Is this real? Have we actually signed Partey? But yeah, it's mad. It's mad. Only Arsenal could sort of have me 1 minute I'm absolutely angry, pissed off, and the next minute I'm just over the moon. You know, this club does that to me all the time, and you know, and I can't ever seem to walk away from it. I love it. It's this hate and love relationship I have with Arsenal, but it's brilliant. But let's look at the transfer window overall. So in terms of outgoings, to be fair, we didn't really have a great outgoing, because I'm sure if you were to speak to those at the board level at Arsenal, they will tell you that we didn't get rid of half of the players that we actually wanted. So if we sort of look at the Lucas Torreira deal, he went out on loan without an obligation to buy and just an option of 21 million euros, I believe, to Atletico Madrid. We couldn't get rid of Matteo Guendouzi. However, we did manage to get just a loan. Doesn't really do anything for our finances. Could not get rid of Socrates, even though we were willing to just let him go for free. We were going to terminate his contract, and that idiot is still here. You know, for me, personally speaking, I think Arsenal need to do a lot more, try to drive these players out. I know it's not their fault. I blame that all on the Arsene Wenger and Ivan Gazidis reign, who decided to give all these mediocre players high salary, and we're now paying for it. But we still have got Mustafi as well. We couldn't get rid of him. There was all these talks of Lazio. No one wants Mustafi on 80k a week. No one wants to pay Socrates 92k a week. No one wants a spoiled brat who has a fight everywhere he goes. Look at Lorient. Look at Arsenal. By the way, I'm referring to Matteo Guendouzi about this spoiled brat. You know, and that's why then we wonder and we scratch our heads. Why can't we get rid of these guys? They're on high money and they're average players. That's exactly what it is. So I'm sure if you were to sort of speak to Arteta and Edu, they're not really satisfied completely with the whole transfer dealings. I'm sure they would have liked Awal to come in, and they would have liked seeing a lot more of those deadwoods out the door. We still got Ozil, we still got Mustafi and Socrates, and from what I've heard, we've got far too many players to register. I can't remember if we have to make a cut of one or two. Personally speaking, if it's one, I'd still keep Ozil just because we need perhaps that spark, and maybe not now. If he can sort of put the effort in training and the board perhaps look past his whole situation. He's here now. He's not going away, is he? So perhaps make any use out of Ozil. We shall see. But if it's up to me personally speaking, get rid of Socrates. I wouldn't register Socrates. He was there flirting with Napoli, then last minute flirting with Roma. We don't want him here. He's just content collecting his paycheck, and he doesn't really care about the club. So for me, Socrates, yeah, you're not registered, mate. And we were on the verge of loaning William Saliba back to Saint Etienne, but they couldn't get through. They couldn't get the paperwork done in time. So it looks like William Saliba is still here. And for me personally speaking, I'm glad. I think we've got easier games in terms of the Europa League, and we'll have to sort of see after the next stage of Carabao Cups, we might have easier teams. We've also got the initial rounds of the FA Cup, so we shouldn't be facing tough oppositions or Premier League oppositions, and William Saliba can feature in those games. And perhaps maybe in January or towards the end of Jan, if he's still not getting enough game time, then loan him out to Saint Etienne. I mean, we've got quite a few easy games in the Europa League. Play him there. Play him with Holding or Chambers. For me, personally speaking, we've trialed and tested Mustafi, Socrates, and if we know that they won't be here come next summer, why are we still playing them? What's the point? You might as well invest in the long term. And Saliba, Holding, maybe not so much now Holding because he's 25, 26. They give you that, you know, they've got a platform to grow. And if they're going to be here long term, I want to see us develop them rather than waste time on Socrates and Mustafi and, you know. But let's look at all our outgoings and incomings for the transfer market. And then I'm going to give a rating overall. So in terms of outgoings, we had Matteo Guendouzi leave yesterday on loan to Hertha Berlin. It's just a 1-year loan. No option to buy, no obligation to buy. Not the greatest for me, personally speaking. I'm sure, for me, I would have liked to seen Guendouzi go out for about 20-25 mil. As we didn't get that, I think we failed on Guendouzi. In terms of outgoings, Emilio Martinez. Yeah, it's a bit of a shame. I feel as if he's had to pay the price because we couldn't get rid of the other deadwood, so we had to make a tough decision and get rid of a consistent goalkeeper, which no one in the club wanted to let go. We got 20 million for him. Massive still for Aston Villa, considering Ramsdale was purchased for a higher fee than that, and Ramsdale's not the greatest, is he, at Sheffield United? So I feel as if we got hard done by, but Aston Villa and everyone knew we needed the money, so they got away with it, I guess. In terms of other outgoings, Mkhitaryan, that's just on a free though, so doesn't really count in my opinion. You know, fair play to him. Didn't work here at all. Bye-bye. And Sam Greenwood, gone over to Leeds United. From what I've heard, he's impressed in the under-23s. We might regret that decision, but we still got Balogun, and we did sign Mola yesterday. I believe that's how you pronounce it. The 18-year-old striker who arrived yesterday on deadline day for, I believe, a fee of £400,000. And that takes us on nicely to the incomings. So as I mentioned, Mola, don't know enough information on him, so I'm not going to comment. We also signed yesterday, as part of the Matteo Guendouzi move to Hertha Berlin, I believe his name is Omar Rekik, and Rekik will be joining us on the 1st of January. Likewise, no information on him, so I can't really say if he will be any good here or not. In terms of other incomings, at the start of the window, we had Willian come in from Chelsea on a free. And I believe that's more for backup more than anything. I don't believe Willian was sort of purchased to replace Pepe. If anything, it's meant to get the best out of Pepe and offer that competition and backup as well. And now that we've got Partey here, I would like to see Willian play more in that number 10 position, as he did in the second half against Sheffield United when Nicolas Pepe came on. I thought he looked much better there, and he wasn't so isolated and has decent link-up plays with Aubameyang as well as Pepe. So I would like to see Willian play more in number 10 position, and let's see what he could bring there now that we've got Partey behind him. We also signed Gabriel Magalhaes. Now for me, this will go down as the best transfer in this whole transfer window. I reckon Gabriel will go unnoticed and surprise many people. He's got what already? 3 man of the match. 3 man of the match out of 4 Premier League games. Impressive. I mean, I can see him going really far. It's just a shame for me that William Saliba's development is not quite there yet, because could you imagine with Gabriel and Saliba? Hopefully that's something we could build on in the future, but it's not there right now. We also brought back Dani Ceballos back from loan, and I think that's a decent bit of business. Dani Ceballos and Arteta have a close relationship, and you can sort of see with the Spaniard how hungry he is, and you could sort of see with the Euros not that far away now, he's clearly trying to impress the Spanish national team. So with Dani Ceballos, you know you get 100%. But for me, I've always sort of said what I want to sort of see with Dani Ceballos is him starting the game with that hunger and energy that he usually does when he comes off the bench. So if he could bring that to his game from the start, then I reckon we've got a brilliant player there who could link really well with midfield with a Thomas Partey and a Granit Xhaka. In terms of other incomings, we also had none other than our backup goalkeeper in Alex Runnison. The jury's still out on him. Don't know too much on Runnison. He hasn't featured so far yet in some of the cup competition. I just think that's because Bernd Leno was on low on confidence, but I reckon we'll see more of Alex Runnison in some of these upcoming Europa League games, and then we'll have more of an idea what he's about, really, to see if he's fit to be a number 2, or if we have to go back in the transfer market and potentially look at a David Raya or someone of that ilk. And finally, the party of Parteys, Thomas Partey. He's exactly what we needed. This guy will, for me, we haven't really replaced Gilberto Silva and Patrick Vieira, and he's the closest thing to that. So I'm so excited to see him. He's perfectly built as well for the Premier League. He's dominant. He's got the physicality. He's athletic as well. That's something we don't have within our squad. Granit Xhaka and Dani Ceballos, they're not the most athletic of midfielders. So I think with Thomas Partey there being the engine, that will hopefully he could sort of break the press and then release the ball forward, so we can sort of come out with our quick counter attacks, or play or even make teams feel sort of fearful coming at us. So therefore we can sort of bombard them with attacks. So I think we've just got so much we could do with Thomas Partey and play him in various formations. Now that we've got him, interestingly, what would Mikel Arteta do? Will he revert to a 4-3-3, or will he sort of maintain the current formation with 5 at the back? Only time will tell. But wrapping everything up, my overall score for this transfer window, even though I know it's not closed because we still got as I mentioned, the national one with the Championship and League One. For me personally speaking, it's done, and I'll give this transfer window a 7. Reason why not higher is because we couldn't get the attacking midfielder that we needed. We pressed and tried so hard until the final minutes for Houssem Aouar. Heard that we even went back in for him last day because Lyon failed to sell Jeff Renade Adelaide as well as Memphis Depay to Barcelona. So they are strapped for cash, and maybe that's something we could come back in at January if they're still in a financial difficult position. Come Jan, perhaps go in and take advantage. Also, we did not clear out the deadwoods. We still got Ozil on 350k. We've got the Greek defender Socrates still on 92k, and Mustafi on whatever he's on. So it's not the greatest. We couldn't get any a transfer fee for Lucas Torreira or Matteo Guendouzi. So it's not the greatest. However, we did sign up Pierre-Emerick Aubameyang onto a new contract, as well as Saka and Gabriel Martinelli. So the future looks bright. And for me personally speaking, as I said, I don't want to rush anything. Let's not go for Bundia. Let's form a decent plan and go back at it again when it's next feasible, either January or next summer. The one great thing I do love so far for this transfer window, and the last one, is that we've just gone in and signed the players we needed. When you look at last season, we got Nicolas Pepe, didn't need him. We needed Upamecano, and we just bypassed him and went for a flashy attacking player again. This season, look at it, we needed that solid defender. We went out and got Gabriel. We needed an imposing, destructive midfielder, and we got Thomas Partey. I'm excited for the season. I've got a video coming up for my Premier League predictions now that all transfer activities has been concluded. So I'll be making that very soon, and I'm quite excited and optimistic about the season ahead. Come on, Arsenal. Thank you so much. We're still continuing our party, by